My name is Lance Kramer, and I'm the executive director at Meridian Hill Pictures. I've always known since a young age that I've loved telling stories, both true and not true when I was particularly younger. But I've always loved storytelling. I've always loved film and video, and growing up I always had a camera, or our family always had a camera around the house that my brother and I played with and made all kinds of mostly silly short pieces with. And I've always loved journalism as well. Since I'm in middle school or so, I've always loved the process of writing and reporting. And so for a long time I thought that kind of those two things were separate, that film and my love of film, my love of journalism were kind of disconnected and had to be a choice of doing one or the other. I've also always loved teaching, and there's a part of me that's kind of had a flair for community organizing. And so again, like I kind of always saw those as being disconnected, and it wasn't until my brother and I started putting our heads together and thought about, like, is there a way of making more of a deliberate connection between those things that felt like natural, that could actually enhance the kind of filmmaking process. And when we started thinking about it, we kind of tried to craft a mission for what would become Meridian Hill Pictures that would bring all those elements together. It's one of those things where growing up, we did all these things, we played together, we made things together, and you always think that that's something that can just happen in your personal life, but that couldn't be a part of what you actually do when you grow up and become a big kid and start working. And I think to have gone through and continuing to go through this process of finding a way to come in every day to work and be, collaborating with my brother, who I love, has been amazing. And I think we've learned so much from each other, and brought out the best in each other. And it's really just brought a whole new element to my life that I'm really thankful for. I'd be lying if I said that the financial aspect of running, a small organization, small business is not hard. To kind of take an idea for an arts-based, community-based, business, basically, from the germination of the idea into something that runs day to day and that functions in a responsible, sustainable fashion and makes good, sound decisions that, abide by best practices and doesn't cut corners and all these things. It takes time, energy, and money to do that right, and oftentimes you don't have enough of any of those things. And sometimes also in the arts, there's maybe not as much of an acknowledgement that the arts needs resources, particularly financial resources, in order to thrive. So I think that has almost always been kind of a persistent challenge, to try to figure out how to overcome that. But it's also been an enjoyable challenge at the same time, because I've appreciated going through that challenge even when it's been really hard.